welcome to Midday Update. Coming up are the headlines for the day. Heavy rains expected in Oman. Oman condemns Israeli attack on Gaza. His Majesty the Sultan returns home from UK. UK hospital takes boy off life support after parents lose court battle. Russia-Ukraine updates, parts of nuclear plant seriously damaged. Myanmar reports no deaths from COVID-19 for nearly 4 months. Arshdeep Singh's 3-wicket haul guides India to win over West Indies by 59 runs. Boca Juniors beat Platense in Argentine top flight. Those were the headlines. Now for the local stories for the day. Heavy rain accompanied with decreased visibility and flooded wadis are expected in the governorates of Al Wusta and Dhofar on Sunday. Oman Meteorology said the following in a statement. The chances of cumulus cloud formation and thunderstorms accompanied by active downward winds at times, a decrease in the level of horizontal visibility and the flow of wadis over the desert areas of Al Wusta and Dhofar governorates will continue. The Sultanate of Oman condemns the Israeli occupation's aggression on Gaza and calls on the international community to take responsibility. The Ministry of Foreign said the following in a statement. The ministry has expressed the Sultanate of Oman's condemnation and denunciation of the Israeli occupation forces' attacks on Gaza, calling on the international community to take its responsibilities towards supporting the legitimate rights of the Palestinian people by achieving a just and comprehensive peace. His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq returned home on Friday after paying a private visit to the United Kingdom. This was stated in a statement issued by the Diwan of Royal Court. Those are all the local stories. We'll take a short break and we'll be back with the international news. Stay tuned.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to Midday Update. Now for the international stories. The Royal London Hospital on Saturday took 12-year-old Archie Battersby off life support following a months-long legal battle waged by his parents to prevent the hospital from doing so. Holly Dance, Battersby's mother, found the boy unconscious in April when she returned home. He had placed a cord around his neck, possibly as a result of participation in a hazardous online asphyxiation game. Dance told reporters on Saturday that her son passed away just over 2 hours after the artificial ventilation was stopped. At the entrance to the East London Hospital, people left flowers, cards and candles. In June, a judge agreed with the diagnosis of doctors that Archie was brainstem dead. The judge concurred that life support could be withdrawn, although the family objected and fought the ruling in court. Battersby's family argued that he could benefit from treatment in Italy or Japan and took their case to the European Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg, which declined to intervene for a second time in the case earlier in the week. His parents also lost a last-minute battle to have him transferred to hospice care for his final hours. High Court Judge Lucy Thies wrote in her decision on Friday, I return to where I started, recognizing the enormity of what lays ahead for Archie's parents and the family. Their unconditional love and dedication to Archie is a golden thread that runs through this case. She added, saying, I hope now Archie can be afforded the opportunity for him to die in peaceful circumstances with the family who meant so much to him as he clearly does to them. The case is only the latest to pit families against the National Health Service in the United Kingdom. Courts frequently intervene in cases where families of ill children and doctors are in dispute. Ukraine's State Nuclear Agency Energoatom said parts of the captured Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant were seriously damaged after a station containing oxygen and nitrogen and an auxiliary building were struck by shelling. There is now an increased risk of fire and radiation. On Telegram, the agency said the following on Saturday. The Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant is operating at risk of violating the norms of radiation and fire protection. There remains a risk of hydrogen leaking and radioactive particles dispersing, and the risk of fire is also high. Moscow and Kyiv have traded accusations about who is responsible for the attacks on the plant. The state energy company said Ukrainian power plant personnel were working to maintain safety levels, but they remain under threats as Russian forces occupy the plant. On Friday, shelling hit a high-voltage power line at the plant. Technicians disconnected a reactor as a precaution, even though no radioactive leak was detected. The International Atomic Energy Agency chief Rafael Grossi had called for access to the facility for weeks and has described the situation there in extreme, precarious terms. Ukraine has rejected those requests out of concern that it legitimizes Russia's occupation of the plant. Grossi said Saturday that the shelling at the plant underlies the very real risk of a nuclear disaster that could threaten public health and the environment in Ukraine and beyond. Ukraine said employees of Russian State Atomic Energy Agency Rosatom left the site before shelling began, while Ukrainian workers had stayed on. Ukraine added the plant continues to generate electricity. On Twitter, the EU's top diplomat Josep Borrell condemns military activity around the plant. He called it a serious and irresponsible breach of nuclear safety rules and another example of Russia's disregard for international norms. Myanmar has recorded no new COVID-19 deaths over the past 122 days, the longest stretch without any fatalities from the virus since the start of the pandemic in the country, the Ministry of Health said on Saturday. The death toll from COVID-19 in the country remained unchanged at 19,434 since April 7th this year, official data showed. The country logged 20 new cases of COVID-19 in the past 24 hours, bringing the tally to 614,190, the ministry said. The ministry added that it tested 6,131 people for COVID-19 in the past 24 hours and the daily positivity rate was 0.33%. Another 15 patients have been recovered and discharged from hospital in the past 24 hours, bringing the total number of recoveries to 592,985. Myanmar recorded its first COVID-19 cases on March 23, 2020 and its first death from COVID-19 on March 31, 2020. Those are the international stories. We'll take a short break and we'll be back with sports news. Stay tuned.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to Midday Update. Now for the sports news. Arshdeep Singh's 3-wicket haul helped India to defeat West Indies by 59 runs at the Central Broward Regional Park Stadium turf ground in Lauderhill on Saturday. Pacer Arshdeep Singh bagged 3 wickets while Avesh Khan, Akshar Patel and Ravi Bishnoi all picked up 2 wickets each as West Indies were bundled out for 132. Chasing 192, West Indies got off to a bad start as they lost their opener Brandon King on 18 runs on board. In the 4th over, Devin Thomas fell prey to Avesh Khan after scoring just 1 run. West Indies skipper Nicholas Pooran and middle-order batter Rovman Powell top scored for the West Indies with 24 runs each, while 5 West Indies players were sent back to the pavilion with single-digit scores. Earlier put into bat, Rishabh Pant and captain Rohit Sharma failed to play big knocks but made useful contributions to guide India to 191 for 5. Akshar Patel smashed some big shots towards the end to remain unbeaten on 20 of 8 deliveries. Sanju Samson played a calm knock of 30 not out of 23 balls. Host left-arm fast bowler Obaid McCoy was proved to be the most expensive bowler for West Indies in T20 internationals. Oscar Romero scored 2 first-half goals as Boca Juniors secured a 2-for-1 home win over Platense in Argentina's Primera Division on Saturday. Romero opened the scoring by curling a 12th-minute free kick into the top right corner. The Paraguay international midfielder made a 2-for-0 with a header after Sebastian Villa's cross on the stroke of halftime. The visitors reduced the deficit through Nicolas Morgadino, who tapped in from those close range in the 55th minute. But their momentum was curtailed when Romero Gonzalez was dismissed for a second yellow card 7 minutes from time. Boca held on to secure their 6th win of the campaign and moved to 9th in the 28-team standings behind Platense on goal difference. Those are all the local, international and sports stories for the day. For more updates, stay tuned and keep watching TTV.
You've just heard the live feed from the TTV studios on TFM 95.4. Let's talk.